Alright, welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel, Monday evening edition here on March 19th, 2018. We have a lot to cover tonight, so let's get started. We'll go over to our space weather page for our quick update on our solar conditions. Right now, as you can see, our solar wind speeds are sitting right around the 500 kilometers per second mark. Last I checked, it was 498 to be exact, with the density right around 6.8. Moving along here to check out, there's some other charts looking at our sun disk today. That is sunspot AR 2702. It is turning away from Earth. Below this we have our KP indices, which last night we received a surprise G2 storm. I'll get into that, but right now we are very calm at a KP indices of right around 2. 24-hour max was at a 6, and as you can see here on the ACE, we see the solar wind has been on the decline over the past several hours, and we will look at the SDO right now, and we are definitely looking a lot better than what we had looked yesterday with the coronal hole situation. A very weak corona, and right now it does appear that we do have another decent sized coronal hole that is opening up in the southern region of the sun. So be on the lookout for some more geomagnetic activity, as this coronal hole should reach us Earth facing within the next 24 hours. Expect some kind of reaction from that right around, I'd say, the March 21st, March 22nd region. So we will keep our eyes on that as well. Let's take a look at our TSI numbers for today. It has dropped just slightly to 1361.137. So again, yesterday was up a little, now it's down a little, and we'll just continue to monitor this as we do every day. Before I get to our weather report, I wanted to go over a couple headlines today, and there's that first one I wanted to talk about, that surprise G2 storm. And this is from SPACEWEATHER.com. On March 18th, a crack opened up in Earth's magnetic field. Solar wind poured in, fueling a moderately strong G2 class geomagnetic storm. This was not forecasted, and that's why I think SPACEWEATHER.com felt the need to put up this information. And if you read on to the article here about magnetic cracks and storms, it has a nice little graph here. All of this is courtesy of SPACEWEATHER.com. You guys can go to our page and check it out, or check out the original source here at the bottom, where you can just click on SPACEWEATHER.com. It'll take you to that article. All right, moving along here to some extreme hail in Texas. We talked about this yesterday, or last night I should say, about the severe weather report. And as we did report last night, severe weather has blasted the south with events beginning in Texas. 80-mile-per-hour winds were recorded as some trees were taken down. Caldwell and Baker counties were hit with baseball-sized hail, and where it is being reported that homes and cars have been damaged. The severe outbreak in the south continues through Tuesday. So that's definitely developing, and as we get further into our weather report, I'll show you what's going on down the south as well, because that's not over with. Wanted to show this story real quick. Major flooding in Puerto Plata in Dominican Republic, I should say. Heavy rains and overflowing rivers in Puerto Plata, province of Dominican Republic, caused major flooding on March 17th. Hundreds of homes were affected, and significant loss of property is reported in some parts of the region. So just a heads up, we continue to look. Everywhere we look, we see flooding of some sorts. And here we go, another cyclone, another weather event off the coast of Africa. This is a deadly cyclone that hits Madagascar. 17 have been confirmed dead from the storm. It has affected over 15,000 people, damaged over 12,000 houses, destroying 600 plus, and displacing 6,282 people. Now, the last time they were hit with a cyclone was in January of 2018, Cyclone Eva, which unfortunately killed 51 people. We do include the link here to go check out the pictures and the video footage that the Watchers.news has for you guys. So those are the headlines today as far as what's going on in the Grand Solar Minimum world. Now let's get to our weather forecast, and before I go to that, let's go take a look at our actually I wanted to show something else about the hail We've already found some footage, and I'll just go ahead and play it here for you guys. Take a look what this hail situation was. I mean, it looks like it's snowing, and we've seen footage of this all year long. And what I mean by this is that it seems like all year long we've seen this footage from overseas in Brazil, Turkey, everywhere. We've seen where the hail looks like it's snow, and you know, this is considered the beginning of spring in this particular area. So we are starting to see these hail events. Today, in my opinion, this is the first time I've seen so much widespread hail damage. And like I said, as we speak, we are still dealing with that severe weather right now down in the south. So look at this. I mean, they're not exaggerating. This is baseball-sized hail. And that reminds me of atmospheric compression right there, those images. So
that's from the GOES 16.
From the GOES 16. That has been a wonderful satellite, by the way, ever since they launched that, and they've been giving us information from it. Never before type imagery, and GOES 16 is really helping the community understand the weather and the climate. But look, like I said, it looks like it's been snowing outside, and actually it's hail. And I don't think this is going to be the last time we see an event like this in the south. It's just the beginning of spring, and already I can confidently say that this is definitely grand solar minimum related, folks. That's not an exaggeration. Take a look at our radar map right now. Two things to talk about. We have a system in the south, and we have a system in the Midwest that's approaching the Ohio Valley right now into southern Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. Now, first, let's talk about the severe weather down in the south, which hopefully is winding down for parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. However, northern Alabama, middle Tennessee, and parts of northern Georgia are under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. Eastern time. And this is an area where they are worried about the pop-up storms, and also hail is expected in this region as well. So I remember back in 2011, I actually did some insurance work for a roofing company, and we specialized in hail damage. And this was the storm that's happening right now is very similar to the one that happened back at 11, with the type of damage that they're having in Texas and throughout the South. Like I said, I feel pretty confident this is definitely something that does happen in the springtime where we see hailstorms, but this was a pretty widespread outbreak today. And like I said, we're at the very beginning stages of spring, so we're already this active. And let's not forget Florida, as they're dealing with lots of lightning and severe weather as well down there. So parts of the south getting rocked right now, as well as the panhandle of Florida, all the way down near Orlando as well. Now, just above that, we have another system that's going to make its way across the east and Midwest. Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia, parts of Kentucky, some parts of Indiana. You guys are in winter storm watches, as it looks like in some areas, especially in the Dayton area of Ohio, you guys could get anywhere from 8 inches to 12 inches of snow just based on the GFS. So southern Pennsylvania, you guys are going to get some heavy snowfall as well. West Virginia, heavy snowfall. And then, of course, that storm system moves off into the Atlantic with a possible system that could form as a nor'easter. But let's go ahead and take a look at our tropical tidbits here for any kind of let's get this out of the way for a little bit. So we'll go ahead and start off here at today's date, which is actually, this is starting on Tuesday, and there's that system that's approaching the Ohio Valley. And of course, the southern gets drilled with more severe weather tomorrow as well. There is a severe threat that will be with the south again tomorrow. This is going to be more in the Georgia, Alabama, and Florida areas. But here we are on Tuesday as this next system gets ramped up, and there's that snow events beginning to happen right here where you see the cursor. That's where the snow is going to start coming down the heaviest. And as we move just one more click into late Tuesday, you see a big blue dark heavy snow here now reaching southern Pennsylvania and West Virginia and parts of Ohio. This system is going to move off to the Atlantic Ocean with this snow system, however, is going to help this other low pressure system along the coast to form. And right now, after all of this forecasting for the last week of this not being a nor'easter, once again, what looked like was not going to be a nor'easter was then called a nor'easter and then wasn't called a nor'easter. According to the models here on the GFS, starting on Thursday, we will see once again another snow event in the Northeast and along the coast, New England, Boston, Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York City. You guys, once again, will start to see the snowfall as this makes its exit out of here by the end of the day Thursday. So a lot of agreement now that's saying that this storm will form into its fourth nor'easter of the month, and hopefully the last one. I know these folks up there in the Northeast would really like to have some time to kind of get themselves together right now. But if you look at the map, in the middle of the country, we are in the clear for once. There's a small area of rain developing over Iowa and Arkansas, but nothing to be too worried about. Now, the Northwest and the West, we've already talked about this last night. Again, heavy rain, they will accept it just because that anything past April, normally it's a lot drier during that time period, plus with the drought situation in California and other parts in the West. But progressing through next week late, a major low pressure system moves across the northern plains into the Midwest and off to the East Coast. Not really seeing a lot of snow on this one, and it is far way out. This is almost 2 weeks out, so it's a little early to see. But the good news is that there does appear to be less chances for snow here in the east. The bad news is that it does look like spring is coming, and with spring is these normal stormy patterns. And even this model here does suggest late March a slight chance for some snow in New York. But mainly that's rain. And look at this rain band, folks. Let me back this up a few days. This system starts up, actually, if you want to get technical, looking at this radar loop, this system just kind of stays stationary and redevelops and leaves and comes back and leaves and comes back. So the east, the south, the Midwest, with springtime temperatures and springtime moisture heading our way, and that also means severe weather. So today is only the beginning as far as I'm concerned when it comes to, this is like, to me, this is the official day for like springtime weather outbreaks and stuff like that. As far as temperatures go, I think we took a look at them yesterday. A lot of the same that we're going to be expecting that we've seen, and that's the anomaly. I always do this. And make sure David knows this is not Burger King once again. We had trouble last time with switching the radars over. I love you, Starman. I have to mess with you. But just wanted to take a quick look at the run of the temperatures before we head off here. Looking like spring. Winter still trying to make its entrance in the Northeast. It does eventually get some cold air spilling into the Northeast. But what I like seeing here down in the South is this yellows and reds and oranges. I am so done with winter, and as long as we can, I want some warm air for as long as we can. And trust me, I'm going to savor it this spring and summer. Spend way more time outside than I did last year. So with that being said, Mari, is there anything else that I didn't cover, or maybe something in the chat?
No, we, as always, have an excellent group in the chat. And Grumpy Troll is going to be making tinfoil hats to protect us all from the geomagnetic storm, because we all have headaches right now.
Well, you know, Ben Davidson brings up a lot of good points about how cosmic rays can affect your health. And, you know, not to be cliche here, but I believe it to be true. I think people who are sensitive to this type of situations will feel it more. People with arthritis, people with migraine headaches, I think folks that are affected with heart issues, breathing issues, I think those are the people that should be concerned. And not to scare anybody, but I mean, it's a proven fact that these health factors are a part of the grand solar minimum as well. And radiation is not good for us. We all know that. Like I told everybody a few days back, the radiation now time for people to be in space went from 1,000 days to 700 days. So it's getting more intense. And we just have to keep our eyes on it and be aware and be prepared, basically. But other than that, there's nobody else questions or concerns?
No,
All right,
just
good.
Enjoying the camaraderie of the GSM community. So
all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to this brief grand solar minimum update. But if there's anything else that happens to break through, of course, you will hear from us. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Take care. We'll talk soon.